really weird to have a mic. Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Jessica Pincombe. I'm with the Alpha Group Agency. I'm a wellness program coordinator, so that means I've been working with your company to put together your wellness programming for this year. We did last year as well, maybe I think the year before that too. So that pretty calendar that's been sent out with all the different activities going on, I hope to put that together for you guys. And today I'm here to kick off a challenge for you that starts in May. And I'm also going to talk to you about workplace fitness tips because that's super important, and especially for this challenge. So I did want to start with the challenge and kind of introduce that real quick, and we can go through more of the details later. But starting May 1st, we really want you to be more active throughout the workday. No, I do not expect you to do that. But we want you to take advantage of your breaks. So we called it Break into Fitness. So we're hoping that whether you get a 15-minute break, 10-minute break, 2-minute break, you're taking advantage of that time to get yourself up and moving and the blood flowing. So the goal is to track your physical activity throughout the day. So instead of just sitting on your lunch or sitting on your breaks, maybe doing something physically active. And we're going to talk about why that's important in a minute, but the challenge is May through June. I have trackers up here. If you want to participate, you can take one. Each month, you're going to fill out your tracker with whatever activity you've done. We've made it super simple. There's a key here. If you walked on your break, put a star on that day. If you stretched on your break, you can do a little dot on that day. You can track however you want, really. I like to do tracking a little bit more in depth, like I did an arm workout on my break, or I did the stairs on my break, so you can do it however you want. But just be marking what you've done during that day, okay? At the end of the month, you're going to turn this tracker in to Julie Carragher, and she will keep track of it for you, and then there's going to be a drawing. So there's prizes involved. It's always exciting, okay? We'll get to the prizes later. So right now we're just going to talk about, give you some ideas. I'm going to do some demonstrations for you on the things you can do during those breaks. I wanted to talk about a little bit of facts first. I want you to think about your day. How many times are you actually sitting down? I know for me, my job mainly is sitting unless I'm here doing something like this. But I get to work and I go to a desk job. How many here have a basically sedentary sitting job? A lot. And you're not out of the norm. Like, this is very common to have a sedentary job. But you think about it. You sleep all night. You sleep, what, hopefully 8 hours at least? Right? Maybe? And then you get up, you make breakfast, you sit down again to eat. Maybe get ready, drive to work. You're sitting while you're driving. Get to work, you're sitting for however long. Take your lunch, sitting again. Work the rest of the afternoon, sitting again. Go home, make dinner, sit again to eat. And then if you're like me and you have TV shows you watch, you're sitting for another couple hours, right? Easily. So on average, they say 12 hours a day is spent sedentary and sitting down for the average person. So that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of your waking hours, probably. Physical inactivity is the 4th leading risk factor for global mortality. So it's a big deal. Like, being physically inactive is causing a whole bunch of issues for people, and it's leading to early death. And 3.2 million deaths per year are related to physical inactivity. So, you know, clearly that's a big issue, right? Those are big numbers. So again, think about your day, think of how much you're sitting and how much more we could be doing with that time that we're sedentary. So research has linked sitting for long periods of times with so many different health concerns. And they call this the sitting disease because we're definitely sitting too much, and that's called being sedentary. It's leading to being overweight, being obese, which leads to multiple other different health risks, health factors. It leads to unhealthy blood sugar levels, along with type 2 diabetes, leads to greater chance of heart disease and cancers, and all these things lead to other things too. They're all like linked together. So we do definitely need to be conscious of the risk factors, because one thing leads to another and another. Like even sleep, bad sleep leads to this, bad, exercise habit leads to that, bad nutrition habit leads to something else, and they all kind of link together. So basically, the sitting disease leads to an early death. So we just want to be careful, and that's the point of this challenge, is to get you moving a little more. One study actually compared adults who spent less than 2 hours a day in front of a TV based on, or doing some kind of screen-based, whether it's TV or iPad, computer, etc. And they tracked it versus those who did 4 hours a day of that recreational screen time. And they found that those that did the greater screen time, over 4 hours a day, had a nearly 50% increased risk of death from any cause, period, and about 125% increased risk of events associated with cardiovascular disease, like chest pain, angina, or a heart attack. So again, a big deal. If you're just sitting down more often than not, you may think you're relaxing, and that's a good thing. Yes, you definitely need that time to relax, but you're probably not realizing how much damage you could be doing to yourself. So again, this is why it's so important. We want to sit less and move more. That's our goal for this challenge. The good news is you can make a difference in your risk factors just by moving every 30 minutes to every hour. So the bad news is, you may think, I go to the gym almost every day, but I still am sedentary throughout my workday. Doesn't matter. You need to be getting up at least once an hour, if you can, to really see your risk factors go down. Okay, so yes, that's great that you're doing 7 days a week at the gym, but it's actually not helping you at the end of the day as much as you might think. So we're gonna do some stretches. You can join in if you'd like. You don't have to. I figured we'd start with some stretches because, stretching is good too. And you do need to stretch before you jump into some kind of exercising, and you want to stretch at the end of your exercising too. But we're going to start with the stretches first because they're a little bit easier. The exercise is a little more going to get your heart rate up. So the first one is called the rubber neck. You can do, I think all of these ones that I put in here, there's a ton more out there too, so keep that in mind. But the ones I put on this are just very basic, a couple. And you can do these sitting down. Preferably, I would say to stand up, because the more you're standing, the more calories you're burning. So, but this one's called rubber neck, so you're just going to take your neck. You want to take your ear and try to reach your shoulder. Don't go all the way down if you can't. Go as far as you can. You're going to, I'm going to set this down. You're going to want to feel the stretch in your neck on the opposite side of where you're pulling down to. So slowly and hold that stretch. You're going to feel it in here. You want to hold it for at least 3 seconds, and then switch to the other side. I have a headache today, I was telling them, and this one helps me when you have a headache. I think it's the weather. So just back and forth, stretching the neck out. And you can do this also going from chin to chest and chin to ceiling. So same thing, 3 seconds down. You can even give a little push on your head, either to the side or this side, and then down, and hold it. And bring it back up, all the way up, and hold it there. So even just doing that, I feel better. Something so simple that we don't take this time to do throughout our day. The next one is, and stop me if you have questions too. The next one is a shoulder pull. It's going to be hard to talk with this mic, but you take one arm, pull it across your chest. Try to talk loud. Take your other arm, your opposite arm, and gently pull, not on your elbow, you want to go a little bit above your elbow, and pull, reach your arm back. Okay, so you're going to pull it, you're going to feel it all in here. Nice stretch. Okay? Another tip is to keep your shoulders out of your ears, don't shrug your shoulders. Try to keep your shoulders back with all your exercising, all your stretching. Shoulders should always be down. Hold that for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever feels good for you, and then you can switch to the other arm. Do the same thing. This is
going to release a lot of tension in your shoulder area, where if you're stressed out and sitting at a desk, we tend to hold a lot up here. The next one is an upper back stretch. Grasp your hands together, reach all the way up to the ceiling, and just reach up. Breathe in and out slowly. Again, try not to lift your shoulders too high, like try to keep the shoulders down and feel that stretch up here. Okay? And holding that for, again, 10 seconds if you can. You can also lower it and go out in front. I don't know if you feel this, but it's like up in here. I can feel this. Okay, so do both and forward. You can even get creative and go behind.
Oh, sure.
Too, if you can. It's not as easy, but it'll give you something to work towards. All right, the torso twist. This one, I think, is probably one of the only ones to do sitting down. Crossing your one leg over. The opposite shoulder and arm, you're going to reach over to that leg and just twist your torso. And hold that pose. Again, for at least 10 seconds if you can. And slowly let it go. And then switch. Back might crack a little bit, so be careful. And again, keep your shoulders out of your ears. All right, good. Any questions so far? I think there's only a few more stretches. All right, so the next one's called a standing quad stretch. If you need support, hold on to your chair. If you're a little more advanced, you may not need it, but just be careful. I find if I put one arm out, that helps the balance, like the opposite arm helps my balance a little bit. Can't promise anything. But you're basically picking up your foot if you can, or your shin, whatever you can reach, and pulling it back. Now with this stretch, you don't want your knee to go out like that. You don't want it to go away from your body. You want to try to keep your knees together. And hold that stretch. You're going to feel that up in here. Hold that one as long as you can. And then reverse. Oh gosh. The arm out helps. And a focus on one spot on the floor can help. That was a good one. All right, and the next one is good for anyone who does a lot of typing at their desk. It's just a basic wrist stretch. Again, you can do this one sitting or standing, but holding your wrist out in front of you, stretch it down and hold it. And then you can even go up, push it that way. You can also do this on a desk or on a chair, push down. Stretch them out like that, one and two at a time. Do it this way. Or just doing stuff like this, rotating the wrists. You do it with your ankles too. Back in my high school days, volleyball, we'd have to do the alphabet with our feet, with our ankles, or your name. Yeah. To really loosen it up. So that's your wrist stretch. Okay, so that was just some basic stretches. Next is the fun stuff, the exercising stuff. There's so much we can be doing that you don't need a gym for. You could do this stuff at home too. And I know you're in work clothes when you're at work. You're not going to change on your 15-minute break just to do exercise. So you don't have to get crazy with this. The whole point is just to be up and moving a little bit more than what we do normally. So the first thing we put on here is walking or jogging in place. If you want to get crazy, you can do the jogging, but just walking is totally fine. You know, just basic walking, marching in place. You can march around your desk, but you don't even need to. You can just stand in place and do it. If you want to make it a little bit more, what's the word, intense, bring your legs up as high as you can, like waist length. to the net. Super basic, right?